Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. And in this video, I will be setting up my December spreads in my reading journal, but first I'm going to do a quick flip through of the books I read. And this is actually the first time that I can remember in my reading journal I actually refused to rate a book. It was a nonfiction book that I read, and it honestly felt weird to give it a rating since it was like a really devastating thing that took place that is still affecting people's lives to this day. And it felt uncomfortable to give that a rating. But yeah, if you want to read something that's like a book that's very eye-opening but also a very tough read, I definitely recommend Killers of the Flower Moon. And speaking of moon, um, this month's setup, well, December's setup, is kind of based on the night sky. I used a lot of, well, not a lot, but quite a few things from the most recent, and by most recent, I mean like September. I haven't gotten December's subscription box from Archer and Olive yet. But yeah, I used quite a few things from the September Archer and Olive subscription box, mostly the washi tape, and then two pieces of paper, scrapbooking paper. I also used some stickers from my sticky subscription. I don't really remember which month this is. I never remember which month it is. I want to say November. No, it wasn't November. October? Or October, maybe? It was blue themed, whichever one it was. So I decided to incorporate those stickers in it as well. I decided to keep this moon as like the main focus point though. And then just used a white jelly roll to write in the title. Or the month name, I should say. And then I thicken where the downstrokes would be to do like a faux calligraphy look. Just to make it pop out a little bit more. It actually didn't occur to me until after I wrote that I could have used a silver gel pen to write the title in, but that's okay. I do use a silver gel pen to draw in some stars, and I go through maybe like three different gel pens because I haven't used them in a while and they've dried up a bit, or they're clogged or something. But I finally found one that worked. And with that complete, I'm going to move on to my tracking spread. I tend to mark out the calendar in pencil beforehand because it just makes things way quicker. And even with marking out the calendars beforehand, sometimes I still make mistakes, and you just gotta live with it. It happens. If it's a really bad mistake, I'll usually just like glue the pages together and start over on the next page. But it's a simple, I think 4x5 grid spacing with an extra space at the top for the day of the week. I don't think this is actually sped up that much. Maybe by 2. I've basically been doing this spread for the past almost half a year at this point, so I've gotten pretty quick at setting it up. And honestly, I'm impressed that the lines are as straight as they are. This is probably the straightest I've had these lines come out for maybe this entire time. just using this bright blue to color the top in. I would have loved to do a darker blue, but I find that with water-based markers, it's a bit difficult to write with white gel pen on top because they don't stay white. So yeah, that's why I did a lighter blue for that, but it's okay. With this spread, I just track the days I have started reading a book, and then when I finish reading a book. You saw at the beginning basically what it looks like more toward the end of the month. It's just something fun to look at, and I enjoy keeping up with it throughout the entire month too. And then I'm decorating the pages with spacey themed paper. A quick trick to cut smaller pieces of paper is to use, I specifically prefer the metal rulers for this because I feel like they're just a bit more sturdy, but you basically use that as a sharp edge to cut the paper with. It also creates a fun little texture along the edges of the paper too. I actually picked this up from when I used to do a lot of watercolor painting. I had a friend who tore paper like this, and I thought that was super cool and super convenient, instead of trying to look for scissors this entire time, or struggling getting a straight line with an X-Acto knife and ruler. And I'm also incorporating the washi tape that I used on the cover page. And then adding some finishing touches with these stickers. I mostly used the stickers that were all blue. I don't think I touched the ones that had any gold or yellow on them. And then finally, these landscape stickers that are quite gorgeous. I do enjoy them. Where I do like the more layered look with the more natural torn edges, sometimes I just like this real geometric looking design. I don't know what I was looking for there. Finally, writing in the title of this spread and the other lettering that I'm putting in it. On the left side, I will write, I think of maybe next, where I write a list of books that I plan on reading in the coming month. And on the right side is the books I have read in the month. And on that side, I like to print out the book cover and then put my star rating sticker, not sticker, my star rating stamp on there to just do a quick little overview of the books and the ratings for the month. And I forgot that as with the first cover, or as with the first spread, I make the downstrokes thicker to do the faux calligraphy look. Here I am setting up my final spread. This is where I just do my little wrap up at the end of the month. It's not exactly a stats page. It used to be, but I kind of really pared that back, just to make it easier on myself. I got the main part of the spread on the left from a Bibliophile by Night on Instagram. She has some real great stats and wrap-ups that she does each month. And I thought it would be really fun to incorporate the one that's like first book read, last book read, favorite book, honorary mention, honorable mention, not honorary, and then the least favorite book of the month. I think it's quite fun to just see it put that way. And for this month, I actually called it my end of month wrap up instead of stats, because I think I usually ended up calling it stats. And then on the right side is what I call my other media page, I guess. And I'll just either letter or print out album covers or movie posters, and I'll put that in for other things I kind of enjoyed throughout the month. So for this past month of November, I actually did different lettering for the things I listened to and watched, because I just didn't feel like printing things out this month. And then I'm just adding a little section to write the amount of pages I've read in December and what my average rating is. My average rating, I find usually it tends to hover around 4-ish. Usually I want to say it's like 3.8 or 3.9 or something. It's fun to see, especially when you have like a reading month full of disappointing books, how much that affects your rating. I say fortunately, but this past 2 months even, I've been reading some pretty enjoyable books. And with that, I'm finished my setup, and I'm going to do a little walkthrough for you all. I hope you enjoyed watching my setup as much as I enjoyed setting it up. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you would love to see more from me, and I will hopefully see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.